Welcome to the Unhinged Clickbait Podcast. Subscribe to the channel. You've had some pretty interesting encounters at the casino. I love to hear your stories with our boy Aman. He lost a lot of money, but he made a lot of money. Tell me more about it.
So actually, the casino is a great place to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna step on some toes saying that, but my friend Aman is a great example. So Aman loves any risky behavior. So my friend Aman went to the casino and his whole plan was to make money. And we learned how to count cards. We learned every strategy that the dealers do. But it's interesting because like the casino is inherently designed to take as much money from you as possible.
Yeah.
But one thing that we noticed the first few times we went in is that at the blackjack tables, they load you up with money in the beginning. And then they keep letting you win hands over and over, like 5-6 hands in a row, something that's statistically nearly impossible to get, and you'll keep winning.
Is that by design? Do they give you that confidence, and then they'll hit you with, then you start going on a losing streak? I feel like
I totally think that's by design.
Yeah.
I think that they like test how willing you are to lose money, and then they see if you put more money on the table, and then they also attack the person with the most money on the table. Like, if someone doesn't take a risk, they just rely on the algorithm. Like, they have a card shuffler that administers the cards. And it knows, okay, if everyone plays safe bets, like not hitting on 16, stuff like that, then the dealer is going to win every time. Yeah. So you have to do something every hand to make sure that it throws off their algorithm. So like my buddy, he'll sit at the very end of the table so that he can see all the cards across the table, and then he kind of can keep a count. Okay, there's a lot of kings, a lot of face cards, and then he's saying like you gotta fuck the algorithm up. Yeah. You gotta do something ballsy, hit on an 18 when no one else is going to. But there's real ways to make money off of it, especially if you can keep counting the cards and not get caught. You can make a fuck ton of money.
I think the tables are the best way. I don't know about the safest, but probably the best way if you're gonna make money. I've always been told that if you're going to the casino, those slots on the outskirts, on the corners, if you're gonna go slots, go to those ones. Any slots like in the middle or like just anywhere other than the corners, you're just gonna lose every time. Because I think that psychology going into it is, hey, if people see people winning and they're more likely to see that on the corners of the casino, they're more likely to put in more money into the slots. So it's very psychological. Wild. I mean, even down to the clocks. They don't have any clocks. So there's no difference between 5 in the morning or like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, for example. So it's very strategic how casinos go about it.
Yeah, so when we went with my friend Amon, it was the same thing. We would leave him there for like hours, and we go walk around.
Hours, damn, like
the whole night. Because he's like, I need to lock in. He'd say, I need to lock in.
What would you do in the meanwhile? You just like eat a snack, like you just
rip
wait
the
around,
pen, grab a beer, play a few slot machines, play a few hands with him.
Yeah, you can do a lot of things. Yeah,
do all kinds of stuff. But I feel like we were just there to have fun, and he was actually there to try and make some money. And he did. The first time we went recently, he made a ton of money. And he learned a lot of their strategies. So, like, one thing he found was, let's say you're at a table with a whole bunch of people who really know how to play blackjack. They can put pressure on the dealer by hitting when people wouldn't necessarily hit, doing all kinds of different stuff. Tipping the dealer was another thing that he noticed people would do. So, it's like, look, dealer, if you don't attack me, then I'll throw you for every hand that I win, I'll throw you a little pro bono, a little bonus.
Yeah.
And that seemed to work pretty well, but obviously the higher-ups, they don't like that because then you're kind of bribing the dealer. But the dealer has a ton of control of what happens. Like, they literally play all day, every day, like 8 hours a day. Yeah. They know exactly they know exactly what the count is at all times, and they know exactly how to make someone lose. Like, one thing he always said is, like, if the first card that the dealer has is, like, is not a face card, then go all in. Take risky bets. But if they have a face card, almost always they're going to win.
Yeah.
Like, even if they put 19s, 20s on the table, they're going to get that 21.
Yeah. Oh, man, dude. They're cheaters, bro. They're cheaters. I don't know.
So let me tell you how we got kicked out of the casino for cheating.
All right, tell me.
So, I went with my buddies to the casino, and I noticed that every time they played at a new table, the first few hands, the dealers would load them up with wins to get them to keep playing. I said, what if you just take that load up in the beginning and then randomly take your earnings off the table and go to the next table? And then they'll keep loading you up. So at the end of the time where we go to cash in, all my homies made a ton of money doing this strategy. And security comes up to us, and they're like, you guys need to leave right now. Show us your IDs right now. So I refused to show them ID because we didn't commit any crimes. Like, what the fuck? And they're like, all right, you guys need to go right now. One of the security started pushing my friend, too. So my friend
they heard Amon's voice. Like, yeah, you motherfuckers need to get the fuck out of here.
So Amon's an Indian guy. Yeah. They were scrutinizing his ID. They had like a little thing to check the ID with, and they were like calling partners over, like, take a look at this ID. And then when we left, my buddy was so pissed. He called the cops on them. And we're on the reservation. We figured the cops would be on their side. Nah, they sent some American-ass cops, like totally not natives. And they were like, yeah, we've been called out here for stuff like this before. Like,
well, you have to understand these cops. Normally, I'm not a fan of cops. We've talked about this. We're actually
fuck cops, bro.
Fuck cops. But, like, you have to understand, they're probably like, dude, fuck these Native Americans. Like, they're probably on bullshit all the time. I'm sure they get a lot of calls all the time about stuff like this. So they're probably like already fed up. So they're probably on your guys' side on this.
But it was crazy to see cops on the reservation be on our side with something like that.
No, because they get calls like this all the time. It's annoying. Like, you have to understand, like, these cops, they want to, although I feel like some of them, they like those little I don't know, those run-ins with like teenagers and stuff. They actually want to get to the real shit. I feel like that's the thrill of being a cop. That's why, some people want to be a cop in a lot of ways, but they're probably just fed up with it.
Yeah. I mean, it was weird to see the cops were totally on our side with this one. So they must be called out for the casinos all the time. Yeah. The casinos be shiesty. They be doing some shiesty stuff.
They've been doing it for decades.
I mean, it didn't help that we all walked in wearing matching clothes, and one of the machines broke while we were there and stuff like that. Like, we definitely looked a little sus, but we didn't do anything.
You guys didn't do anything.
Yeah, I think it's because we won. I think they're like, how did you guys win? You're not supposed to win. It was the Gila River Indian Reservation. So if you're out here, don't go there. They're crazy. It was not chill. You guys went
there? I thought you guys went to Thunder Valley.
No, so first we went to the Gila River one, and it was like really sus. We kind of just went there on a whim. We were already out there. It's like, hey, let's go to the casino. Yeah. Let's have a good time. And Amon had already been winning the last few times he went. He's like, come on, I can do it again. I have a repeatable thing going.
That's not how it works, dude.
Well, it's funny because him and the other guy there. So Amon was betting blackjack and making a fuck ton of money. Travis was there playing an app called Pocket Options, and he was winning like almost $8,000. He started with like $50 or something, and he just kept playing conservatively.
He lost it all at the end, huh?
So then he went in, he did an all-in bet and lost it all.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Amon was the same way. Amon, the next time we went to the casino, he's like, I swear I can beat the casino again. And he goes in and he lost like $700.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because you could see the way the dealers were trying to wash him out. Like, if it's just you versus the dealer, you lose every time.